welcome back to Weeby Kids. In today's session, we are going to be looking at the goat willow and how to use those beautiful pussy willow buds that we find in springtime. And we're going to be using those to make a beautiful pussy willow kitten with paws. So we're going to begin by making 2 fork small sized pom-poms with the wool. Choose your coloured wool that you want and you're just going to wrap it around your fork. And I'm going to wrap 25 times. And then going to cut my wool. And then I'm going to take another piece. And I'm going to complete my pom-pom by placing my wool through the top part of the fork, through to the other side, and I'm going to cross it through the 2 prongs at the front in the middle, lay down my fork, and I'm going to tie this as tight as I can and leave these 2 strands long, as you're going to need these to help tie your small pom-pom onto the body. As you can see, you remove it from your fork. Then taking sharp scissors, you're going to cut through your pom-pom. Because these are so quick and simple to make, even younger children with shorter attention spans will find this activity within their ability. If your extra lengths accidentally get snipped, which can happen, just take a longer piece, wrap it around the middle, in between just where your tighter piece is, and you can do exactly the same again. Just make sure that you tie it as tightly as you can in the center there, really pulling tight to ensure that you still have your 2 lengths. Your second pom-pom you need to wrap around 50 times. So it's sometimes handy to take 2 strands of wool and wrap 25 times, just to make it that little bit quicker. When you get to the end, snip your wool and take yourself another length of wool. Place it between the 2 fork prongs at the top, and then you are going to take the other end and slot that between the 2 at the base and grab it on the other side and tie as tightly as you can in an overhand knot. And remove from the fork. Now these long pieces are going to become the cat's tail. So collect yourself another piece, and you're also going to wrap that around the center of your pom-pom and tie it really tightly in an overhand knot. Then, as before, you're going to take your scissors and cut between all of the loops around all of your edges. Remember, if you've got a young child, they're likely to need help with this. The smaller one with 25 wraps and the larger with 50, with the extra wrapping around the middle to make the tail. Now, at this point, you still need to be able to see these separate sections, and you're going to take the smaller one, which is going to be used as your head, and you're going to be attaching that onto the other pom-pom and wrapping your extra long strings around the middle of the larger pom-pom. And you can see I'm going to be tying it on with an overhand knot, and therefore able to use these strands also for the tail of my cat. Next, I can start to consider the shaping. So this is the way round my cat is going to be, and I need to press the pom-pom a little, and I'm just going to shape by using my scissors around the edges, and I'm hoping to make this one slightly more oval in shape and the head somewhat round. Careful not to cut the tail, move those pieces to the side. And here we have the starts of our cat. Then you need to choose your 2 little pussy willows that you've chosen and that you've found. Then you're going to take your cats, check that those are the right size. You may want to change them. I'm happy with mine. Then you're going to take the glue, place some glue onto the surface of your Pussy Willow and just stick them onto the base of your pom-pom body. And there our kitten has its paws. For your nose, you can either use some scrap pink fabric, some felt, or a button, or whatever it is that you have to hand. And you're just going to cut it into a nice little shape that's suitable to the size of your pom-poms. You really don't need much for this. Take your twine and unravel its length to give you multiple strands for the whiskers. If you're doing this with normal crafting glue, what I would recommend is that you take one of your strands and you just tie it around the middle so that your whiskers all hold together. Taking again a really small little blob of glue, you're going to place that in the middle of the face and stick on your whiskers, and the same again for your little nose. Finally, your kitten requires its eyes, and once again, very carefully with your glue or your glue gun, just going to place in 2 small blobs of glue. Now I've used 2 little wooden beads, but you can use seeds, you could use all manner of different things for this. Now, if you don't naturally have some little tufts here, you can also create some ears. For this, you're going to need, again, a really small amount of paper, just a tiny little corner that you can cut into a couple of triangles where you would like to have the 2 ears sticking up. And again, I'm going to place a tiny little bit of glue. Now the only difference to using a glue gun or obviously some cold PVA crafting glue is that you do have to consider the drying times in between. And that's really the main reason for me using the glue gun here. And finally, this brings us to its tail. Now the tail is literally pretty much there for you already. And you just have to unravel your strands. Now this can be a little bit fiddly, but if you like the fluffy tails, then it's worth it. Once your tail is unraveled, take a doll's brush or a fine-tooth comb and just brush through. Twist the cat's tail into shape. If you're finding that the cat's tail is too long, you can also just cut that to the length you would like. And here we have our little Pussy Willow kitten. Well, I really hope that you've enjoyed making our resource and that somebody somewhere is going to enjoy playing with these. Take care till next time.